Hey, folks, and welcome to the show. And you know what? If we're going to try to keep keep warm in this incredible amount of snow, what is the igloo that keeps our soccer hearts together? I think it is beach soccer. That's right, beach soccer. Let's get to the beach. Let's get to the sun. That's why the lights are on in the studio here. The vintage video vault is ready for Shahbaaz. Shahbaaz, welcome to the show. How you doing, my friend?
Thanks for having me, Scott. You're very good at your craft, and I'm really lucky and privileged to be on here representing Canada Beach Soccer. So thanks for having us.
Hey, listen, it's a privilege to have you on, my friend. This is awesome because, as we've been talking about beach soccer, and I was telling you that Direct Kicks back in 1998 had a full show on beach soccer, the tour that they had for Southern Ontario. It was so fun to introduce the sport to Canada back in the day. And tell us a little bit about how you got into beach soccer, because it is a unique and fun sport to play and to watch.
Yeah, big time, and not a lot of people know about it. I certainly didn't 5 years ago. I was playing at Western with a couple buddies of mine, namely Andre Goyo and Alex Martins, as well as a gentleman named Naeem Nathu. And, we were playing at Western together for a little bit. After school, kept playing together. And then we randomly got a call one day from Andre. Andre comes from an Italian family, and they have deep Italian roots. And we got a call from Andre saying that there was a beach team that needed some help. A couple guys dropped out. There's a tournament in Italy happening in 2 weeks. It was fully funded, fully paid for, and they needed a couple guys to fill in on the roster. I had never heard about beach soccer. I didn't know a thing about the rules of the game. I didn't know that it was a massive lifestyle in itself. And 5 years later, we've become pretty much a nationally recognized body for beach soccer. We're a feeder for the CSA and some different tournaments, and the team travels a lot and represents Canada on the international stages. That's a jersey behind me framed, and then above that there's a trophy there, our first ever trophy that we won a few years back. So it's a massive sport, and it's only growing, especially now that Canada is waking up to the world of soccer.
Well, tell us a little bit about, you said that you didn't know the rules when you first went to Italy, and you got to know quickly. Tell us, the viewers, what the rules are and how the game is played and how it's different.
Sure. So first and foremost, the game is played in sand. I know that sounds hilarious, and everyone thinks of beach volleyball, that sort of stuff. But the game is played in sand, and it's truly an athlete's athlete sport. You have to be just a next level type of fit to be able to, train in that sand under the sweltering heat. The thing about sand is that it obviously gets extremely hot, and it can get packed as it rains or the conditions change. So it's you never know what you're going to get with the sand, first and foremost. Second of all, you play bare feet, so you don't have really any protection. Third of all, the game, whereas soccer, you're always taught to, if the ball's in the air, bring it down, play along the floor, play along the carpet, the field, whatever the case is, use your passes on the ground. Beach is all about the ability to put it into the air and eliminate the sand as an unknown. And so it's all about getting the ball in the air and moving as a team. And that's why you'll see a lot of bicycle kicks. You'll see a lot of things. The fifth piece is the rules are a little bit different. So if someone's going up for a bicycle kick, you can't go in there like their cone area kind of thing. Like, think of an imaginary cone. So someone's lining up against me for a bicycle. I'm a defender, so I used to get biked on, or guys tried to bike on me quite some time. All you can do is jump straight up. As soon as you lean in, it's a penalty. It's a direct shot. And then another key rule is that per possession you can pass back to the goalie and they can use their hands. The goalie is such a key important piece of this.
Sure.
That, and the transition between goalie to offense is really, really important.
Right. It's a crazy fun sport to watch too. Like you said, the ball has to be up in the air in order for it to get from point A to point B at a better rate and a faster rate for all the best teams, right? So
Absolutely.
I mean, as you probably know, I bragged about the old bicycle kick, and I've been talking about it for like 30, 40 years, about how I never ever scored the bicycle kick goal. But it as soon as I saw the way the beach was played, and knowing full well that that the teams, like originally, as you probably will tell everybody, that Brazil was the masterminds of the first beach soccer, because it just makes sense. It's the beautiful game, and it's sexy football, and they could do that. And people that watch it will be amazed at how great it, and I don't have to tell you, but visually it's awesome.
It really is. It doesn't get the same type of camera angles and coverage that regular soccer does, because it's still such it's a fast game, and it's still such a hidden game, but those who know it around the world love it, and it's only growing. And the ability to follow the game, the athleticism that some of these players have, females, males, have across space, the level of insight and intellect you have to have when moving at that pace. And the crazy thing is like, you could screw up at any moment. The sand could be wonky in one way, or you could slip, or whatever the case is. So it's just, what it is, it's a very vulnerable game. It's a very humbling game for even the best.
And it's it's important for viewers, I think, to listen to the story of how you got it from your idea coming back from Italy. I think we need to make a team. Tell us about how that's a really neat thing that you can say that you've done. You've helped develop this team, you and Andre and the boys. Tell us about how you did it and how that developed, because that's really cool.
It's really nostalgic and bringing some moments back into my mind. It's just so crazy. Life works. We got back from Italy. First of all, we had the trip of a lifetime. You try putting 10 humans who've played amazing levels of soccer together and tell them to all go play in a beach tournament for the first time. And the first team we play is Italy, and you have the Del Vecchio brothers playing against you. Like they're obviously older than us, but like those are Mark Del Vecchio is World Cup champion, right? Like and we're playing against these guys in beach. And we're playing against teams that know how to play, and we're in this, sun of the Alba Adriatica, and just getting our asses handed to us. We actually scored the first goal, and then Italy beat us 5-1. And it was in that time that our president at the time made a prediction that said, "Hey, we're going to come back and win this tournament in 3 years." And so we came back, and there was a couple of us who, at the time I was at a company called Salesforce. I thought I was learning a little bit about business. And we were like, hey, let's try and create a brand out of this, a lifestyle brand. We've bootstrapped it for the last 5 years, just got investments from different sponsors to help us grow. But really, we put the core of the team together. And so it's interesting because a lot of us were players, but also like owner managers kind of thing. Sure. And so it was an interesting delineation. But like, we put together the team. We created a strong brand. We built our marketing channels. We threw different events to raise money, a poker tournament, a kickoff event at Bar Downtown, got different sponsors, and then went back to the Italy tournament a year later after training. We picked up some new players. And then that's, we won that trophy I just showed you at the beginning of this. That was our first trophy as a club. I was lucky. I got to score the game winner.
Oh, nice.
It was a third place winner. It was a bronze. Because the way the Italy tournaments work is that it's kind of like the ATP. You play in different tennis tour. You play in different tournaments. You get different points, and those points allow you to play in different cities. So we started off playing against, in smaller cities with people, 2,000, 3,000 people watching. By the time we were, now it's, obviously a lot bigger, but at that point it was already like we were moving up to bigger cities, Vieste and some of these other cities on the coast.
Nice.
And what a rush. So I got to score the game winner in that game. That was my claim to fame. We won 7-6 versus Brazil. And yeah, which is funny.
Nice.
And we just did it the Canadian way with grit and just pure like outworking them. And we started to gain some skill. Third year, we went back to even more tournaments. We got Paolo as our coach, who well, who's a famed Canadian legend in the soccer leagues. And then we went back and we beat that Italy team that we had made the prediction 3 years before. And we won our first trophy in a spot called Marotta. And it was the best feeling. my brother was on the team for a couple of years.
That's right. Yeah.
My parents came to see us. The fact that they got to see their two boys was
That's
cool.
cool.
And it's a lot of it's homegrown talent. And now 5 years later, I'm happy to say that we've played in the World Winners World Cup, which is the best beach teams from across the world. The boys just came back not too long ago from Sicily and played against Napoli, who's ranked 16th in the world, FC Tel Aviv, who's ranked 8th in the world, and really showed up. Right now they're in Costa Rica, and then we have the World Winners World Cup for the Americas next week. So similar to how regular soccer functions, there's divisional and central region tournaments to then funnel up the best teams. And we've been training hard, and it's been incredible. And now we're starting to be in talks with the National Beach Soccer League in Miami to go like an actually intercontinental league, which would be fantastic.
Well, that's amazing because you're always pushing forward, and it's a sport that the world is taking notice of. The big tournament in El Salvador. Tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. So big tournament coming up in El Salvador. It's the best teams from across Central and South and North America. So the US is going, Canada's going. We'll have El Salvador, Costa Rica, Honduras. A variety of different teams playing. And the notion being that the top two teams get points and they get invited to the, I guess, a Club World Cup is what you'd call it. And I believe that's taking place in Qatar this year, perhaps. The problem is that Canada soccer doesn't necessarily have funding for beach programs. It goes men's funding for soccer, 11s, women's. Then you have futsal and so on and so forth.
Sure.
And so we really have to raise our own money, raise our own profile, make it worthwhile.
For sure.
So we count on the support of brands and different partners to really help us. And we've also been going through a down economy in COVID for the last 3 years. And,
Right.
we live in a very cold place. So the fact that we've built what we've built, and a lot of brands in beach soccer look at us as a staple brand. It's just funny because it's we can't even practice, half the year because unless we have an indoor facility, right? And getting an indoor facility is you're then fighting against beach volleyball time and, things like that. And guys live all over the city outside of it, things like that. So it's a challenge, that's for sure. But we persevere because we love the game. We know there's something in it, and it gave a guy like me a second chance to be a true professional athlete. And I want to give back and help others drive that. So the other piece of us is we have a grassroots organization for kids where we help them, teach them and build their skills on the sand, because that makes them better athletes overall. The acceleration, just the overall ability to dig into the sand, the resistance training. It's just magnificent.
Yeah, for sure. And you have a couple, you're mentioning Paulo coming on board to help as a coach. Pretty well-known name, Paulo Ceccarelli, one of my favorite characters in Canadian soccer. We did some nice travels together down in St. Kitts and Nevis, and had some fun times talking recently in a chat as well. How important was he as a mentor and a coach coming in?
Yeah, I mean, just he gave the program legitimacy, really. So after him, we started to get guys like Dwayne Eusabio come out, and he's been to a few tournaments with us, been to a few practices. I got to sit down with Dwayne and had dinner a couple months ago, which why is a guy like me sitting down with a guy like that, a Canadian legend to break bread. And it's one of the opportunities that I can't believe I got in my life, because I really do. Cool. Yeah, I mean, I grew up on Dwayne killing it for Team Canada, putting in these Scarborough native, right? Sure. When it comes to Paulo, Paulo's someone who's near and dear to me. He gave me the ability to be the captain of the team in Italy. Andre and I actually. He was the one who first brought the structure, scenarios to the game. Paul was really good at scenario mapping, in the sense of, a lot of our practices would be focused on technicals, obviously fundamentals, but in-game scenarios when, you're down, 2 goals, there's 5 minutes left. What do you do? Right. And those scenarios are magnified in beach because it's such a fast game. He was the one who brought, a lot of culture. He brought a center of excellence to us. Like he's a no nonsense guy, scares the
Sure.
shit out of you sometimes, right? So, but he's an incredible leader, incredible coach, and he's training the goalies of tomorrow. And anyone who gets an opportunity to train under Paulo is going to be set in their career. And so really enjoyed, like he's part of the team. He's not necessarily our coach anymore, but amazing guy. But like the 2 years we had together were just that's really what elevated the program into like next level status.
For sure. And to have somebody like Dero to be supportive of what you guys are doing, it's really important, right?
So important. It's so important. The most challenging thing is just like, of all the things to focus on, how do we make sure that beach is the thing, right? And it's really around the lifestyle. And
Yes.
Scott, I work in the cannabis industry as well, and it's all about education, right?
Right.
And so changing minds, it's opening up things, and so once we have kind of like a title sponsor on board, I'm confident that we'll be able to get the support that we need to build a lot larger,
For sure.
and change minds and build this lifestyle, because it truly is about lifestyle. It's beach soccer represents athletic mobility. It represents by the water, sunshine, camaraderie, right? Training. So it's a lifestyle that's worth living, because it hits on all the key points, and you have a damn lot of fun doing it, and you build the best relationships, and more importantly, you never know what you're going to get out there on the sand, so you got to be prepared for anything.
Right, and the good thing is that you're building on the momentum of Canadian soccer. I mean, let's face it, after Qatar, momentum built, and now we're going to 23 with Australia and New Zealand and the Women's World Cup. So we have that on the minds of everybody. I think that the thing that you guys have as an advantage as you start to roll, I think you really have to jump on that bandwagon, is the fact that you can bring in other people. I mean, there are reasons why beach volleyball became such a big hit, because people that weren't really big volleyball fans or sporting fans could watch it and go, okay. I think that non-soccer fans will be attracted to beach soccer when they see it, because there's a lot of goals. So you can take away and eliminate a 1-0 game. There's hardly any 1-0 games. They're high-scoring games, and the goals are acrobatic, as you said, right? They're awesome. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is like truly incredible. But beach soccer got us to meet someone like you, Scott, and you as an integral part of our journey in just building the game.
I love it. Yeah.
So it does bring the right people together. It's just
For sure.
about getting more eyeballs on it when we can, and creating a centralized place. You see, like National Hockey League, the NBA, like these are obviously we're not at that scale yet, but like these are how these leagues start to really drive forward, is because you have a centralized place in which everyone's beating to the same drum, and it's like a certain standard. And I think that's what beach is missing, because there's beach soccer worldwide, there's a couple different National Beach Soccer League, there's a couple different things, but there's no like actual governing body that's like really just owning it, outside. And even FIFA, it's a small piece of FIFA's agenda, obviously. Sure. The success of the World Cup. So it's just about that. It's just about getting more money into the game. Once we have more money into the game, there's a lot more youth development, a lot of different programs we can start to run. And that's where it comes from. So it truly has been a passion project, and we're building in the right ways. I'm confident we can take it to the next level.
That's amazing, because I'd love to see it happen. I mean, and again, build on that momentum that you guys have started. It's a lot of passion, a lot of heart, and it's obvious that you love the footy. So tell us a little bit about where that comes from. I know it's a family thing, so tell us about your love of Liverpool and how your dad. I've met your dad once, and I'm telling you, the look on his face when I told him that our referee for rapid fire was Corny Dalglish. He loved that. So tell us about your love of footy.
I appreciate the question. I haven't really been asked that ever in my life, so I appreciate the question. And it's like, even the other day I was coming back from Lisbon, and I was like, shit, I can't wait to play soccer. It's just like I just couldn't wait. and played in a little rec game, got 2 apples, but that's what it is now, right? It's many joys. So my love of soccer came from, I want to say my dad, I want to say my grandpa, but like, I loved the game growing up so much. I loved the way I felt on the field. I grew up in a house of 13 people. It was very noisy. It was Kenyan Indian immigrants. It was very noisy. I was the youngest. So in order to focus, I would focus a lot on the soccer field. It was just like, I didn't have to think. I didn't have to be anyone, or, I wasn't just like this young brother or sister, I had older sisters or older cousin sisters, all that sort of stuff in this big house. But like, I just wasn't, I could just be somebody else on the field. And then I started to really learn about, I remember one of the first players I loved was David Beckham, because David Beckham represented so much more than just soccer. David Beckham represented a brand. He represented a business, a lifestyle, right? Like Bex is mercurial. And so it was, then that I started to get into the Premier League when he was on United, and I started to love Steven Gerrard. I loved his style of play. That's who I grew up on. I grew up on Xabi Alonso and Stevie G, just coming through the middle, that 1-2 punch, and long strikes, and just like being able to just, control a game and be a general. My dad and I, my dad loved Liverpool. I started to really like them growing up. I still love them today, but I really lean into like the lifestyle aspect of things. So whereas I love Liverpool, I love PSG. I love their gear, right? I love their jerseys. I love what they represent,
for sure,
right? And so for me, soccer has been a guide in my life. It's been my guide. It's been my invisible hand, because it's given me the ability to be a leader on the field. It's given me the ability to learn and make mistakes, build camaraderie. It's given me hard moments of losing. It taught me how to lose. It taught me how to win. And these are lessons that, quite frankly, like, I don't know if kids get that these days. I think kids are too coddled. I think, I learned a couple of years ago that, up until a certain point, there is no winning and losing in some of these games, which is absolute nonsense. That's not what life is. And so I think soccer was the closest guide to life that I could have possibly asked for. That was just real. It was what you make of it. It wasn't, something telling you to do something so that you could, it's practice and do it. But like, all you could take was the things that you've learned in those moments. And it's like, am I turning this person? Am I dangling? Am I, wall passing it? Like, it forces you to decision make. So that's how I'd lay it down. Soccer's been giving me the ability to really understand decision making.
That's cool. That's really neat. And then you played at a pretty decent level, right? You played at Western?
Played at Western, played at not too long for Western. Previous to that, played a little bit in Sweden. Played growing up OISL. Played on a lot of teams that won a lot of championships. Played on a lot of teams that lost a lot of championships.
Right.
So, ultimately, the work that you need to put in to really be elite at the Canadian level, I couldn't put it in. I had to pay bills. I had to, I took a finance degree at Western. Canada Beach Soccer isn't my end all be all right now, although I'd love it to be. So and that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to wrap my life into each other so that I can create this lifestyle around, beach soccer and everything that comes with it.
Wow, that's unbelievable. You're warming my heart. That's what you should do on a cold night like this. And the other thing that we can do is grow your back hair like I am, because now I'm nice and warm. And also, another thing is to do soccer rapid fire trivia.
Yes.
Do you think you're ready for it?
I'm ready. Let's rip it. It's a great thing to end on, so I'm ready. Hit me with it.
Okay, time for soccer rapid fire trivia. Okay, time for soccer rapid fire trivia. And of course, as you probably know, Shahbaaz, if you get something wrong, a question wrong, Corny Dalglish comes out with a yellow card. So try to avoid that. But
I got a lot of yellows in my day for some good tackles. So,
I know, it's unfortunate, but you know what? You never know what's going to happen here today. Okay, question number 1. In the 2006 World Cup, Zinedine Zidane famously headbutted an Italian defender in the chest? Name that defender.
Marco Materazzi.
Oh, ding ding. Yes, correct. Number 2, tasteless trickeration. Oh, this is tasteless. If Jeffrey Dahmer was a soccer player, what number would he wear?
9.
8. Corny comes out. That was a tasteless one. Corny comes out with a yellow card. Yeah, he'd be 8.
That's right. Anyway, I was thinking 9 because he's a killer. But anyways,
yeah. Trickeration and truculence comes in. Okay, what is Pele's real name?
Oh man, I don't know.
So here's the thing: we went from a tasteless one to a really tasty gentleman in Pele, Edson Arantes de Nascimento.
I thought it was. Yeah, okay. I was right on the Edson, but I didn't know the rest.
That's all right. Okay, so name the only NBA MVP whose favorite sport is soccer. The only NBA MVP.
Kobe Bryant.
Oh, Corny comes out again. Wow.
No Kobe Bryant?
No. Steve Nash.
Yeah. Yeah.
Follow-up question. Steve has a famous brother who's a Canadian soccer veteran. What's his first name?
I don't know his first name, but does he play for the Whitecaps?
He used to.
Well, that's got to count for a half point.
Oh, no. Corny. Marty Nash.
Okay.
He's coaching. I can't remember what.
I started off hot.
Wow. Well, you know what? This is new rules. You can get as many yellows as you want. If you combine the humor soccer rapid fire trivia with a famous female soccer star from the U.S., what kind of sandwich would you make?
Mia Hamm?
You know what? I'm going to give that to you. A Mia Hamm and cheese.
Okay.
Because me and Mia Hamm. Mia Hamm and cheese. Good. I like that. Okay, so Eusabio. Does that describe A, Scott's smell after a 90-minute game, or does it describe a Portuguese soccer legend?
Portuguese footy legends.
Of course. Although B.O., yeah, you can say B.O. when you see me. But you are correct. We'll move on to question number 8. What provincial association did Steven Hart run before he became the Canadian men's coach? He ran the provincial association because we were out there with our cameras.
Ontario Soccer Association?
Corny comes out again. Nova Scotia.
Okay.
Yeah. Question number 9. Why is my hair like an all-time great footy player?
You do have great hair. Why is your hair like an all-time great footy player?
Yeah. Corny has to come out. It's messy.
It's not that messy. You want to see messy hair?
Oh boy. Holy crap. Corny, come out. Oh, that's almost a full red. Good one. Okay. We got question number 10. We have to get to the 10th question. And I had to prove to the viewers that I actually had hair because I've been wearing these toques all the time. Okay. Who has scored Canada's first ever World Cup goal?
A lady by the name of Helen. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. Come on. You can do it.
I don't know the last name.
Stumbos. There you go. Crowd goes crazy. Corny comes out only for a nice yellow. He's not doing it for anything other than congratulations for participating in Soccer Rapid Fire Trivia. You did well. Helen Stumbos, of course, was the host of Direct Kicks, and she scored Canada's first ever World Cup goal directly from a free kick in 1995.
Love that.
Oh, yeah, it's a beautiful goal.
Scotty, thank you. I appreciate the time, man.
Hey, listen. I appreciate you telling us a little bit more about beach soccer. Continued success. I cannot wait to work a little bit closely closely with you and your teammates and Canadian Beach Soccer, because we're going to make this huge. We want the whole world and everybody coast to coast in Canada to know, and to get every sponsor possible for you guys to get where you need to be, right? You need to be the top in the world, and we need to help you get there.
Appreciate you, my man.
Hey, my friend, we'll talk to you soon, okay? Thanks very much, Shahbaaz. That was a fantastic interview. Little unfortunate on the soccer rapid fire trivia. He earned his corn on a couple questions, but hey, listen, he was so concentrated on the beach. And plus I mentioned something about the hair on my back that really got him really crazy. Okay, so we're going to end it here, because when I told my girlfriend I was going to be doing beach soccer, you know what she said? One word: speed don't. Don't blame her. We'll see you next time on Direct Kicks and Beach Soccer in Canada.